Hello everyone, I'm John Martin, the Victorian Coordinator for the Young Conservatives for Christ, and today I'm near Treasury Gardens with a guest who needs no introduction, who's been fighting for children, for babies for decades. In the building just behind us, if you can see it, Bernie Finn, welcome to the podcast.
G'day John, how are you? Good to be here. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for coming. Now, I mentioned that you've been standing up for children and babies in Parliament just behind us since about the 90s. Could you explain your parliamentary journey?
Well, I suppose my parliamentary journey, it all began in 1992. That was when I was first elected, the youngest member of the Kennett government.
Right.
And I was a staunch Conservative in the Kennett government, which didn't make me all that popular in certain circles. Nothing's changed in all that time. But I've always been pro-life. I've been pro-life since I was about 14. Maybe even a little bit younger. And it just seems wrong to me. Call me a prude, but it seems wrong to me to kill babies. And that's what being pro-life is. You think it's wrong to kill babies. And that seems like a pretty reasonable thing to me. So I went into Parliament with very staunch views on these sorts of matters, and I suppose held back a little bit because basically I was on my own in there until 2008. When I went out in 1999, I should say. That was because I held a seat that was, for all intents and purposes, a pretty safe Labor seat. And I took it off them in 92, won it again in 96, then in 99 with the swing, out I went. And I came back in 2006 into the upper house. And in 2008, Daniel Andrews and assorted others put forward legislation which legalised abortion until birth. Appalling legislation which allows anything and everything. I mean, it's open slather in terms of killing babies. And I suppose I was all of a sudden a born-again pro-lifer. And I became very angry at what was happening. Not just angry with the government, but angry with the churches, angry with a lot of people who should have been doing more, but weren't. And I thought to myself, well, you know, here we are, we're fighting hard, we're in there, we're going all hell for leather, and these people are sitting back doing nothing. And I thought to myself, you know, one of these days, these people are going to face the Lord, and they are going to be asked, why didn't you do anything? And at that point in time, they're going to have a lot of trouble. And some of these people are bishops, they are archbishops, they are people who are clergy. They are, you know, they're the ones that are going to cop it more than anything else, I believe. But I'll leave that to the Lord because he knows how to do these things. I don't. So but I became as I say, a born again pro-lifer, and in the minutes after the bill was passed. And we only lost by 3 votes, which was very disappointing. But in the minutes after the bill was passed, at 11:30 p.m. On the 10th of October in 2008, I put my head between my legs and I said, "Dear Lord, what now?" To which he responded, "March for the babies." It was immediate. I mean, there's nobody could argue with how immediate it was. And I said, okay. So we had March for the Babies that next year in 2009. We have March for the Babies every year since then. Even when we were locked in, we still had March for the Babies, except it was online. And we have done that ever since. This is our 16th. On October the 12th, because we have it on the Saturday nearest the 10th. So we to commemorate that particular day, and you know, what we do is we actually remember those babies that are killed throughout the course of the year. We reach out to the mums, many of whom are suffering big time. You know, because a lot of these women are not given any choice, which is very ironic given what they say.
The pro-choice.
But you know, one of the most common response that you get from women who've had an abortion is, "I had no choice," and that's as I say, ironic in its own way. So we reach out to them with love and with forgiveness, with compassion. You know, we don't want to hurt them. You know, we don't want to put them through anything that they shouldn't have to go through. And finally, we march to tell the people in this building at Parliament House, to tell the media, to tell the community that we are not going to go away. We are here until such time as we have a law which is fair to everyone. Until such time as we have a law which protects all children and allows children and babies to have the same rights as everybody else. And we're not going to go away. I can guarantee that we won't. And if I have to do it till the day I die, I don't care. This is what we will. This is what we will fight for. And it's just, as far as I'm concerned, it is the most important issue. I mean, we as adults have a responsibility to look after kids. And if we don't do that, well, then we have failed. And at the moment, we are failing big time. The fact that here in Victoria, there are somewhere around 20,000 babies killed every year, which is horrendous. In other states, it's very similar. In Australia generally, and keeping in mind, in Australia now, in every state, in every jurisdiction, we have abortion until birth. Legalised abortion until birth. So we have over 90,000 babies killed in this country every year. So that building that's over the other side of the Treasury Gardens, the MCG, that's going to have, later on today, that's going to have 95,000 in it. It's almost a grand final crowd that is killed every year by abortion. And when you think about it, it's pretty horrific. And speaking of horrific, some of the ways that these babies are killed is also horrific. I put up an amendment during the debate where I wanted to ban partial birth abortion, which is already banned in the United States. It's a particularly evil and vile and barbaric form of killing, where the baby is born outside the mother, except the head. It's still inside the mother, and the abortionist gets an implement, whether they be scissors, whatever they might be, pushes that into the back of the baby's head, and then sucks the baby's brains out, and then crushes the baby's head, and the baby's born dead. Now, this is what they do. We've heard in the United States, and I'm sure it's happening here, babies being sold for body parts, it's an industry. This is not. Don't let anybody tell you that the abortionists do this to help people. They do it to help themselves. This is an industry. This is something that makes them very, very rich, and it's very, very wrong.
So as you were describing the abortion practices, the word that came to my mind was disgusting. Because what we're talking about, we're not talking about just a clump of cells. Like, in some sense, we're all just a clump of cells.
Well, that's true.
But it's a living human being from the time of conception.
Well, I mean, the thing is, this argument that they put forward that it's just a clump of cells, it's just absolutely nonsensical, because from very, very early on in their lives, they have arms, they have legs, they have brains, they have heads, they have, people say, it's a part of a woman's body. Well, how many women do you know have 4 legs, have four arms, have 2 heads, have 2 hearts? I mean, these little babies, they have everything. By 10 weeks, they have everything that they will ever need in their lives. And all they have to do at that point in time is grow. So, to say that they are in some way unhuman, that they do not resemble human beings, that they are just blobs of jelly, as I've heard people say, that is just nonsensical. And, I say to people who put that to me, you really should have studied biology at school, because if you had studied biology, you would know that's a very, very wrong very, very wrong view of how you would see little babies, because they are little babies. You know, they've got arms, they've got legs, they move around. You know, they can feel pain. The whole box and dice, and we should protect them. And we've got a responsibility to protect them.
That's right. And as you were saying earlier, pastors, bishops, archbishops have sort of in this, we need to love people and help people out. They've sort of forgotten that Scripture is very clear on the human value of a baby in the womb or outside of the womb. It's the same. Psalm 22, 9 verse 10, yet you are he who brought me from the womb. You made me trust when upon my mother's breast. Upon you I was cast from birth. You have been my God from my mother's womb. Psalm 127, 3. Behold, children are a gift from the Lord. The fruit of the womb is a reward. And it goes on and on and on. Why do you think maybe pastors have, I would say, compromised on this issue?
I think it's because it's too hard. They're weak. It's too hard, and they want to be accepted. They want to be loved by everybody. And if you stand up for little babies, it's a bit like William Wilberforce, who described himself when he was fighting slavery as the most hated man in Britain. And I feel a bit like that in Australia sometimes. But you've got to do what you've got to do. And, you know, I see a number of people, predominantly women, I might say, who over the years have been very, very strong pro-life leaders. And I look at them and I say, you know, they have committed their lives to protecting these children. Many now have gone to God, and they're now receiving their reward. But you know, it's not about, as far as I'm concerned, it's not about receiving rewards. It's about doing the right thing. And if we don't do the right thing, then we have absolutely, totally failed as human beings, as a society. You know, if we as a society can offer women something better than killing their babies, well, then we might get somewhere. But if the best we can offer, you know, when they're in trouble, when they're in strife, if the best we can offer is the opportunity for them to kill their babies, what sort of society do we live in? You know, what sort of, this is madness. It's appalling.
You've been fighting in Parliament for a long time, and you only just missed out on Parliament recently by a mere few votes.
210 votes out of 500,000.
Wow.
So that was a little bit disappointing, but I thought, well, you know, that there is a reason for this. And I thought my reason was because I go to Queensland and sit on the beach. But it wasn't. It wasn't, because the bloke upstairs kept tapping me on the shoulder and saying no. And now I'm number one Senate candidate for Family First. And I expect that I will be elected at the next election to the Senate. And, you know, given that abortion is now a national issue, because it is legal in every state and territory in the nation, I suppose it's appropriate that I would go to Canberra. There's a whole range of issues that I want to take on, but certainly, you know, abortion is one that I'm never going to give up on, because if you give up on that, you give up on the babies. And that's something that I'm never, ever going to do. Never. So I'm looking forward to a degree. I'm looking forward to going to Canberra. Not really, because I don't like Canberra. It's a shocking place. It's a shocking place. And I prefer not to go to Canberra, but I have to go to Canberra. You know, I'm not going to Canberra because I want to go to Canberra. I'm going to Canberra because I have to go to Canberra. We have to get this fixed. And there's a whole range of things that have to be fixed. You know, whether it be the treatment of old people, whether it be the treatment of people with disabilities. You know, these are issues that are all interrelated, and we have to get those sorted out.
And just recently we've seen the Babies Born Alive bill that's been rejected by the Senate. And the Liberals, we would have thought that they would have supported babies. But again, it seems they're just getting more progressive, it seems.
Well, there were some Liberals who voted against the bill,
right,
which was very disappointing. Simon Birmingham, the leader of the Liberal Party in the Senate, he was one of those, which isn't surprising because he's a lefty, should be in the Labor Party, should be in the Greens. That's not surprising. But what we need to do is to ensure that we have strong Conservative voices in Parliament. And that's why I've joined Family First. Because I've got to tell you, in all the years I've been in politics for 50 years. I joined the DLP, Democratic Labour Party, when I was 13 years of age.
Wow.
Which is a long time ago. I have been involved in politics a very, very long time, but I've never felt more at home than I do right now. And it's almost as if everything that I've done in the past 50 years has been about preparing myself for what I'm about to do.
Right.
Because I think there is a fair chance that I have the most important part of my life coming up.
Right.
Going to Canberra, speaking up in the Senate on a whole range of issues, but particularly on these life issues. This is really going to be something that I think I will look back on my deathbed with pride. Because I think here is an opportunity to stand up and speak for those who cannot speak for themselves, who can't defend themselves. Here's my opportunity to really defend those innocent people, whether they be old, whether they be young, whether they be babies, whatever they may be. Here's my opportunity to defend them and to protect them.
And the March of Babies is coming up on the 12th of October,
it is,
said.
It is, yes.
Yeah, just remind everyone what time and where to go.
Well, we'll be down here in the Treasury Gardens in Spring Street in Melbourne. We kick off at 1 o'clock. If you want to come a bit earlier, that'd be really good, because I don't know what it is about pro-lifers. I always get there at about 5 minutes to 1. And about 10 minutes to 1, it's nobody there, and I start to panic. I start to panic. But about 5 minutes to 1, over the hill they come in their vast numbers, and that's good. But I really wish they'd get there a bit earlier for my nervous system, if anything else. But we'll be marching through the city. We'll be marching past Parliament. We'll be marching to the Premier's office just over there, and we will be making our views known very, very clear, very, very strong. About what we want to see done to protect the most innocent, the most vulnerable members of our community, and that we are totally committed to the protection of those children. And I'm really looking forward to it. It's always a great day. I invite everybody to come along on the 12th of October. As I say, 1 o'clock in the Treasury Gardens. Make it 12:30. We can have a picnic first, and we will have that march. And bring your family, bring your friends, bring your neighbours, bring your mother-in-law, bring whoever you like. But bring people, because what really will make a difference is the number of people. And the bottom line is, if we don't stand up for the babies, who will?
That's right.
Who will? And people, whether we want to or not, have a duty, have an obligation to do this.
That's right.
So please get on board. Come on down. And it will be a great day, and you will feel so much better. Having done it, believe me, you will feel that you've done something right.
And of all people, us Christians should be the ones that are willing to stand up for babies. Come down. I'll definitely be there too.
Good stuff. That's wonderful, John.
And hopefully lots more people will come. I want to thank you for all this, what you've done, standing up for Christian values in Parliament, and hopefully you'll be able to continue doing that in the Senate. Well,
I'm hopeful, and I'm hopeful the best is yet to come, but time will tell. It's in his hands.
That's right.
If the good Lord wants me to be in the Senate, I'll be in the Senate. If he doesn't want to be in the Senate, I'll be in Queensland sitting on a beach. So in some ways I hope I'm in the Queensland sitting on the beach, but I know what I've got to do, and that's something that you just have to accept.
I'll leave links in the description for the March for Babies and for Family First as well.
That'd be great.
Bernie Finn, thank you for being on the podcast
Thank
today.
you, John. Very, very good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
Good on you.